When thousands gather for a glimpse of a star, you expect joy, celebration, memories, but not this. The images from Vijay's TVK rally in Tamil Nadu shocked the nation. Chaos, screams, panic, and lives lost. It was a moment that showed yet again how little value we place on life for the sake of spectacle. In Karur, thousands had waited in the heat for hours to see the star they love. Arriving 6 hours late, Vijay had already made the situation bad. And when it turned deadly, he just left for Chennai with no answers, no accountability. This was not an accident. It was predictable, preventable, but yet allowed to unfold. It's far from rare. In India, crowd disasters repeat with alarming regularity. From politics to cinema to sport to religion, we pass it off as passion. In reality, it's negligence that's dressed as celebration. A victory parade celebrating RCB in Bengaluru left 11 people dead. In Hyderabad, Pushpa 2's promotional event claimed the life of a woman. At Kumbh Mela this year, many pilgrims were killed in a stampede. We don't even know the final number for sure. But different events, different cities, but the same outcome. So why do we still not know how to manage a crowd? Why are our leaders obsessed with head counts but never take responsibility? And what will it finally take to stop the cycle of stampedes? Let's begin. When tragedies unfold, the first thing to vanish is responsibility. But journalism cannot look away. At the News Minute, we ask the uncomfortable questions, follow through when others move on, and hold our leaders to account. Because without scrutiny, there's no accountability. And unlike political rallies, we don't measure strength only in head counts. We measure it in readers who back us. So if you value our work, then do chip in. For just 500 rupees a month, you can subscribe to the News Minute. But remember, this money goes a long way in supporting our work. Ground reports, deep dives, and even follow-ups. Because the stories that we cover aren't entertainment. They are about real lives. So scan the QR code here or click the link in the description below. Now, back to Karur and the anatomy of a stampede. Vijay's roadshow had started on September 13th. Karur was supposed to be another stop on 27th. Even on paper, the numbers just didn't add up. Permission for 10,000 attendees, plans for 15,000, and just 500 police personnel to manage it all. And then came the delays. Vijay's Namakkal rally that morning, scheduled for 8:45, dragged on till 2:30. And by the time he reached Karur, it was past 7 in the evening. By then, the crowd had been waiting for hours. It was already packed with thousands of people, and another 5,000 had trailed him all the way from Namakkal. It was way beyond the permitted numbers. People clung to rooftops and trees just to catch a glimpse. As soon as Vijay's convoy arrived, the crowd surged even further. Makeshift structures and tin sheets collapsed. A tree branch snapped under the weight of fans and panic spread through the crowd. Trapped in narrow lanes and uneven ground, the crowd stumbled. One stumble became a fall, one fall became a trampling. Meanwhile, the organizers had no plan, no coordination. People cried out for help, and in some footage you can actually see them gasping and clutching. But Vijay kept speaking. pausing only to hand out water bottles and to tell people to make way for ambulances.
கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சம் வழி விட்டுருங்க போயிட்டு போயிடுங்க என்னப்பா ஆம்புலன்ஸ்ல நம்ம கொடி இருக்குது.
That was it. When the rally ended, he left for Chennai on a chartered flight. In Vijay's movies and now his political speeches, punchlines, promises, heroics and assurances are all part of the act. But at the Trichy and Chennai airports, when the media tried to speak to him, he remained silent. Four hours later, a social media post with words of condolences and no answers, no accountability. TVK later announced compensation for the families of the victims. Now, what happened in Karur is not new. It's only the latest repetition of an old bloody pattern. On June 4th this year, Bengaluru witnessed a deadly crowd surge during RCB's IPL victory celebrations. This happened outside the Chinnaswamy Stadium. The event, initially planned as a parade, was scaled down due to security concerns. But a sudden announcement of free passes led to confusion, and as gates opened, a stampede ensued. 11 people died, and over 56 were injured. Investigations found that the event had no proper permissions or safety protocols. The government, the police, the cricket authorities are all to be blamed. Similarly, on December 4, 2024, a promotional event for Pushpa 2 at Hyderabad Sandhya Theatre ended in tragedy. Fans gathered in large numbers, and despite police denying permission, the event went ahead. Actor Allu Arjun's arrival triggered chaos, killing a 39-year-old woman and critically injuring a young boy. Look, India has seen this cycle for decades. In 2005, over 300 people died at Mandar Devi Temple in Maharashtra. In 2008, more than 160 perished at Naina Devi Temple in Himachal Pradesh. In 2013, Ratngarh Temple in Madhya Pradesh saw over 100 deaths. 2015, the Pushkaram festival in Andhra claimed 27 lives. And the tragedies have not stopped. In July 2024, in UP's Hathras, a satsang left 121 people dead after crowds swelled. And just earlier this year, at the Prayag Mahakumbh, over 79 people died in a surge at the Sangam. And this perhaps is the only stampede where the government went to the extent of concealing the real numbers. And it was followed by 18 more deaths at Delhi railway station as pilgrims pushed across an overcrowded bridge. The names and dates change, but the anatomy does not. Crowd scientists call stampedes liquid disasters. Packed too tightly, people move like water. If the front is blocked, pressure builds and a single stumble can trigger a domino effect. People fall, and within seconds, hundreds collapse on top of them. These aren't accidents of recklessness. They are failures of organization. Because organizers underestimate turnout, oversell capacity, and ignore basic safety. The outcome is always the same. The truth is, we already know how to prevent stampedes because the NDMA has clear guidelines. Assess capacity, control numbers, build multiple entry and exit points. Use trained marshals, not just volunteers with sticks. Keep people informed through loudspeakers and signages. Station medical teams on site. Monitor crowds in real time through cameras and control rooms. And none of this is complicated, nor is any of it new. These measures work worldwide, but in India, they are blatantly ignored. Of course, there have been attempts in the past to change that. For example, in 1997, the Karnataka government drafted a crowd safety bill. It wanted organizers punished for stampedes. It treated crowd management as science, not suggestion. But the bill never passed. Politicians and religious authorities perhaps saw it as an obstacle to their numbers. So it was shelved. And after the RCB tragedy this year, Karnataka introduced a new act. It requires organizers of events with more than 5,000 people to seek permission at least 10 days in advance. Violations can invite life imprisonment if fatalities happen. Now, in the wake of Karur, Tamil Nadu's Chief Minister M.K. Stalin says safety laws are essential. But how many times will leaders rediscover this truth? Will they only rediscover this after so many deaths? Some argue that India cannot function without crowds, that our culture, our democracy, our festivals thrive on them, that people want to gather to feel the collective energy. But that argument hides a deadly truth. There is a line between celebration and catastrophe. We need a cultural shift. Smaller gatherings, controlled spaces, hybrid events that use technology to extend reach. We need leaders who can measure their strength not in headcounts, but in how safely they can conduct a rally. We need religious leaders who respect the lives of devotees more than the spectacle of devotion. And we need a society that understands the foolishness in overcrowding. After every tragedy comes the ritual of condolences. Politicians express sorrow, compensation is announced, and an inquiry is ordered. A report is filed and then nothing. Until, of course, the next time. This stampede in Karur is not an accident. It's a warning. If we ignore it, another will come for sure. As for Vijay, the superstar knows the power of crowds. He's been banking on it for his movies and now for his political party. But can supporters just be about numbers? The anatomy of a stampede is not just about crowd dynamics. It's about governance, accountability, and the value we place on human life. Until those things change, every rally, every celebration, every festival in India will carry within it the possibility of a huge disaster.